What's going on, guys? Welcome to my channel, Day Trader for Life. I'm Chris, the Day Trader for Life, sending greetings to all my viewers across the world from the beautiful island of Jamaica. I am a Jamaican day trader. I've been trading for about 8 years, but I didn't start taking it seriously until about 4 years ago. So I've been trading full time now for about 9 months. But I'll get into that some more in another video. But I'm recording this video now from one of my favorite places to be in Kingston. This is Emancipation Park. It's a national park, very tranquil, good vibes. Somewhere I like to come and reflect and also unwind. So without further ado, I just want to share 5 things that helped me to become a better trader. The first thing is understanding Wyckoff theory or Wyckoff methodology. What Wyckoff methodology is essentially a theory that helps you to understand market context and market structure. In other words, it helps you to gain a contextual framework for understanding market movement or price action. So, to the beginner trader, the candlestick patterns appear to be very random. It's a random sequence of red candles, green candles. You don't know where the next candle is going to go, up or down or sideways. You just don't know. It's just, it seems like you're witnessing a chaotic hodgepodge of red and green candlesticks. So I would recommend anybody who is beginning to learn how to trade to expose themselves to Wyckoff methodology. Some of the basic concepts that they touch on would be accumulation and distribution phases in the market. They also touch on things like market forces, strong hands versus weak hands, supply and demand. They also talk about buying pressure, selling pressure. These concepts were very critical to me making sense of the market. Pulling order from the chaos, the seemingly chaotic market. And it helped me to become a better trader. The second thing that helped me to become a better trader was finding an edge in the market. So you ask, what's an edge? Well, an edge is simply a pattern that, once recognized, it increases the probability of a particular sequence of events occurring that increases your odds of success in a trade. Once the odds are in your favor for a trade moving in the direction that you prefer it to move, then you are in a more likely position to profit from that trade. An example of an edge is if a downtrend becomes overextended, meaning if you're using RSI as an indicator, when the RSI number hits around 30 or 20, that usually represents the market being oversold. That can be an indication that the market is overextended to the downside. When you see a green pin bar, well, that is for me, this is my example, seeing a green pin bar appear at the bottom of an overextended downtrend signals to me that there is an 80% probability that an uptrend will ensue, and it will recover between 50 to 100% of the range of the prior downtrend. So, for example, if you look at where the downtrend started to where it ended, and you see the green pin bar, if the range from the start to the end of that downtrend is 80 cents, then according to this edge, once that green pin bar appears, then an uptrend will ensue, and it will have a range between 40 cents to 80 cents. So that is an example of an edge. You can almost count on it that 8 times out of 10 that is going to happen. The other 20%, it won't happen. So that's an example of an edge. Having an edge, as I said, puts the probability in your favor, or puts the odds in your favor, that if you determine that the price is going to go up, then it's very likely it will go up, more likely than not. So when I found my edge, I gave myself that advantage in being much more composed and detached when putting on a trade. Okay, so the third thing now, guys, that helped me to become a better trader would be thinking in terms of probabilities. Essentially, what that means is being able to become detached from the outcomes of your trades by virtue of recognizing that the market movement is essentially random, but if you have an edge, you tip the scales in your favor by identifying some amount of predictability in what is about to happen in the market. Thinking in probabilities is something that doesn't come natural to us in general in our day-to-day thinking. and approaching our day-to-day challenges. So thinking in terms of probabilities is something that has to be learned, and you have to train it into your psyche. I was first introduced to this concept by Mark Douglas in his famous book called Trading in the Zone. Excellent book. I'd recommend that all beginner traders should read that book or listen to the free audiobook version on YouTube or any other platform, like maybe, I'm not sure, maybe Audible might have it, but you can check it out. It's on YouTube definitely though. It's what Mark Douglas pretty much said about trading in terms of thinking in terms of probabilities is that it helps you to recognize the reality that you cannot predict market movement. You can't predict price movement. You don't know where price is going to go. There's no way for you to be 100% sure that price is going to go in the direction that you think it will go. And he encourages you to prove it to yourself by taking a random sample. For those who have a science background like myself, you'll understand that taking a random sample involves capturing data by taking on an exercise where you limit the number of times you capture that data, and then you analyze that data to determine the frequency of a particular event happening. So let's take as an example a coin toss, right? Or a coin flip. We know that there are only two sides to a coin. You have heads, you have tails. So there is a 50% chance that if you flip the coin, it will land on heads or it will land on tails. Both 50%. But let's say you flip that coin 10 times. Can you guarantee that 5 times out of 10 will be heads and the other 5 times will be tails? Try it and see. There's no guarantee. You could get 6 heads and 4 tails. You could also get 7 heads and 3 tails. You don't know. So what Mark Douglas says is that there's a random distribution in the case of trading. There's a random distribution of wins and losses for a set amount of trades that you take. He encourages us to do the random sample using 20 trades. So even if you found the edge, and let's say the edge is that once you see the pattern corresponding to your edge appear, you have an 80% probability that price will then move in your direction, and 20% that chance that it won't. That means if you take 20 trades, it should reflect those odds. That means 80% of those 20 trades should be wins and the other 20% should be losses. In a large enough sample size, that is how it will play out. However, there is a random distribution of wins and losses in those 20 trades. So you don't know where the wins will come and where the losses will come. The first trade could be a win, the second trade could be a loss, and then you could have 3 wins in a row after that, and then 7 losses in a row after that, you don't know where the wins and losses will fall in that sequence of 20 trades. So when you truly recognize that and accept that you've seen it for yourself as well, what happens is actually very transformational mentally. You become detached now from the wins and the losses when you're trading, because you truly don't know which trade will be a win, which one will be a loss, even though on the bigger picture you know that you still will succeed 80% of the time. And that allows your mindset to shift into thinking in terms of probabilities. You become more detached from the outcome of the trade. You almost come to expect the losses to happen. You don't know when they will happen, but you expect them to happen. And when they happen, you won't take it so hard. So becoming detached from the fear of loss it was very critical for me in becoming a more successful trader, becoming more consistently profitable. Alright guys, so now the fourth thing that helped me to become a better trader is the concept of not chasing price, but letting price come to you. So, you know, and this ties into this topic of detachment from the outcome of your trades. When you're operating in the typical mindset that we operate in our day-to-day lives, especially for those of us who operate in very competitive fields, we have very competitive jobs, and we are constantly trying to make things happen, trying to bend our environment to our will. That type of mindset, if you bring that into trading, you're going to run into problems. Because as much as you try, you can't bend the market to your will. It's either you fall in line and sync up with the market, or the market will punish you and you will suffer. It will bring you great pain because you will be in a state of resistance to whatever story the market wants to tell at a given moment. You'll be in resistance to what is the flow of the market. You can't influence it. So chasing price is something that I used to do because I'm also coming from a very competitive industry where you have to make things up, you know. And I quickly had to find out that in the market, in trading, that doesn't work. You have to sync up with the rhythm of the market. And Mark Douglas again spoke to this, and he mentioned 4 fears that lead to trading errors. And these 4 fears would include FOMO, fear of missing out; 2, fear of being wrong; 3, fear of losing; and how much am I going now? 4? 3, fear of losing. 4, fear of leaving money on the table. So this matter of chasing price has to do with FOMO, fear of missing out. You're sitting on the sidelines, you see that the price just started to shoot up, and you feel the sense of regret that you didn't have money in the trade so that you could be profiting from that surge in price. But then that can lead to an error because you would be impulsively jumping into the trade now because you see it shooting up. And then the moment you jump in, you see the price reverse and start to drop from it. And then now you end up in a losing position, begging for mercy, hoping that the price would start going up again. These type of impulsive trades are a recipe for disaster as a trader, especially as a beginner trader. So being able to trade with a plan, being able to be disciplined and patient and develop that kind of self-control was critical for me being successful as a trader and improving my trading ability. Now, the 5th thing that helped me to become a better trader is being flexible. What I mean by being flexible is mentally flexible, being unbiased in interpreting market direction, being able to objectively analyze price action, resisting the urge to become biased to price moving in a particular direction. When you become biased to price moving in a particular direction, a whole spectrum of issues can arise from that. Because the way how the mind works is when we believe something to be true, we will look for evidence to support that belief. So if we believe that the price is going to go up, we're going to look for evidence that will support our bias that the price is going to go up. And even if price action starts to show us that price is actually going to drop, we will ignore that evidence. We will actually filter it out of our conscious awareness and hold on to the hope that price is going to do what we want it to do. When price starts to plummet, then in order to protect us from the pain of that loss, our mind is going to tell us, hold on to the trade. It will turn around and go in our direction. And we'll hold on to the losing position just to help to soothe our inability to accept objective reality, that we've made an error, we've interpreted incorrectly, we're about to suffer great losses. So holding up bias will work against you as a trader. What I just described is an example of confirmation bias. When we operate in confirmation bias, we look for evidence to support our beliefs instead of allowing the market to tell its story through price action. When we're able to overcome these biases and truly start to analyze price action objectively, we unlock a new level of ability to be in flow with the market, to sync up with the market, to synchronize with the market, and to take advantage of the flow of opportunities as the market presents them to us. And what that looks like is, if the market is showing us evidence that price is about to move upwards, we accept it for what it is and we take our positions accordingly. Long position. If price action is showing us that price is about to go down, we take our position accordingly and we enter a short position to profit from the downward movements of price. So when I overcame these biases, I found my trading to improve significantly. And it's a work in progress. It's something that you have to practice daily, and it's something that you have to master. And I have been improving as I practice daily these 5 things. And these are not the only things that have helped me to become a better trader. There are many more things, but that will be for another video, guys. So just want to encourage everyone, don't give up if you're having challenges trading as a beginner. Keep on keeping on. Better will come. Build your foundation. Explore these things I mentioned in this video. And if you found value in the video, like and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the flip side in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm out.